The day began like any other four. Dr. Elias Rane, the man once celebrated as Earth's most compassionate xenobiologist. By sunset, the same man was handcuffed, dragged across the metallic streets of New Avalon, and accused of kidnapping the infant heir of the Valari Empire, the most feared alien dynasty in the galaxy. Sirens wailed across the domed skyline as soldiers in black exosuits surrounded his laboratory. Elias didn't fight back. He just stood silently, eyes filled with disbelief. "You don't understand," he whispered as a soldier shoved him forward. "She's dying." But no one listened. News drones hovered above, broadcasting the arrest across every channel. Human scientists captured, accused of stealing the Valari princess. Within hours, mobs gathered outside the police compound, chanting for his execution. The tension between humans and aliens had already been stretched thin, and now it was on the brink of war. Inside the cold interrogation chamber, Elias was chained to a chair. Across the table sat Commander Vera, half human, half Valari, her silver eyes gleaming with disgust. "You abducted the Queen's daughter," she hissed. "Do you have any idea what you've done?" Elias closed his eyes. He remembered the night he found her, a small creature wrapped in silver cloth. Her skin glowing faintly, her breaths shallow. "She was left to die in the ruins," he said quietly. "I didn't kidnap her. I saved her." Vera slammed her fist on the table. "Enough lies! The Queen herself is arriving to demand your execution." Elias felt a chill crawl down his spine. The Queen, a being of legend, the ruler of the Valari, was coming for him. As the guards escorted him back to his holding cell, he thought of the child he had raised for 6 years in secret. She wasn't a monster to him. She was just Lyra, a girl who laughed, cried, and called him father. And now that single word might destroy him. 6 years before the arrest, Elias was stationed on the outer edges of the Amazon reconstruction zone, where human teams studied alien flora that had taken root. After the Valari's first contact, one stormy night, a distress beacon flickered deep in the rainforest. When Elias followed the signal, he discovered the wreckage of an alien craft, shattered, burning, and surrounded by glowing blue mist. Amidst the debris lay a small pod. Inside it, wrapped in silver threads, was a child unlike any species catalogued before. Eyes like liquid gold, skin faintly luminescent. She was crying, weak and freezing. Elias hesitated only for a moment before taking her into his arms. Back at his station, he used every piece of medical knowledge he had to keep her alive. Within hours, she stabilized, breathing softly in his lab's containment cradle. Scans revealed she was Valari, but not just any Valari. Her genetic code bore royal signatures. Elias realized he had stumbled upon something impossible, or perhaps someone priceless. But when he tried to contact the Galactic Council, all transmissions were jammed. And the next day, strange black drones began circling the forest. He knew then that someone wanted her gone. He named her Lyra. As the years passed, she grew fast, faster than any human child. She loved to draw the stars, to listen to old Earth lullabies, and to sit on his lap as he worked. Her laughter filled the once silent lab, turning it into a home. Elias knew it was dangerous, but he couldn't abandon her. To him, she wasn't an alien heir. She was a daughter. He promised her safety, love, and truth, but he couldn't protect her forever. The night the soldiers came, he had just finished telling her a story about the moon, and she had fallen asleep whispering, "Good night, Father." The courtroom was packed. Journalists, diplomats, and alien envoys filled the seats. Elias sat in chains surrounded by armored guards. The air was electric with anger and curiosity. A holographic screen displayed the charge: abduction and concealment of the Valari princess, punishable by death. The prosecutor, a tall alien with scales like molten gold, spoke with venom. "This human stole our royal bloodline. For 6 years he kept her hidden, corrupting her mind with human filth." Gasps rippled through the hall. Elias didn't speak until the judge demanded it. Then in a calm, weary voice, he said, "I didn't steal her. She was left to die. I raised her because no one else would." Laughter erupted from the Valari representatives. "A human claiming mercy," one shouted. "Your species knows nothing of compassion. As the trial dragged on, evidence was twisted, facts ignored. The court showed footage of Lyra's room, toys, drawings of both human and alien worlds, and one picture she had drawn herself. A tall human man holding a little girl's hand under the stars. The crowd hissed, calling it manipulation. But Commander Vera, sitting at the edge of the court, stared at the drawing longer than anyone. Something about it softened her. Then came the broadcast. Without warning, the chamber lights dimmed, and a transmission signal broke through the secured line. A voice, cold, regal, and hauntingly beautiful, echoed through the room. "I am Queen Melora of Vela," it said. "Cease this trial. I will come to Earth myself." Every eye turned to Elias, whose breath caught in his throat. The Queen was coming, and with her, either truth or death. The sky over New Avalon burned with violet light as the Queen's ship descended. It was enormous, a cathedral of silver and crystal, pulsing with life. Entire city sectors shut down as her presence disrupted every sensor. When she stepped out, silence fell. Queen Melora was taller than any human. Her skin like molten silver, eyes glowing with ancient intelligence. Around her, the air shimmered as if afraid to touch her. Elias was brought before her in chains, trembling but defiant. The Queen's gaze pierced him. "You," she said, her voice like thunder softened by grief. "You dared take what was mine." Elias swallowed hard. "If I hadn't," he said, "she would be dead." The Queen raised her hand, and a beam of energy forced him to his knees. Pain shot through his veins like fire. "Lies," she hissed. "My daughter was taken by human scavengers. You murdered them to keep her!" Elias screamed but refused to beg. "Look into my memories," he gasped. "See for yourself." For a long moment, Melora studied him. Then she touched his forehead. A wave of light enveloped them both, revealing his memories in vivid form. The burning forest, the dying child, the sleepless nights, the laughter, every heartbeat, every tear, every lullaby, laid bare before her. When the vision ended, she stepped back, eyes trembling. You sang her our ancient hymn," she whispered. No human could know it. Elias looked up weakly. "She taught me." The Queen's hand dropped. The chains unlatched. The soldiers froze, confused. Something had changed in her, something she couldn't yet admit. Queen Melora demanded to see Lyra. She was brought in, escorted by guards, still wearing the small pendant Elias had crafted for her years ago. When she saw Elias, she broke free from the guards and ran to him, wrapping her tiny arms around his neck. "Father!" she cried. The word echoed through the grand hall, silencing everyone. Cameras blinked, recording every second. The Queen's lips parted, but no sound came. Melora stepped closer, her regal composure cracking. "Lyra," she said softly. "My child?" The girl turned, confused. "You're my mother?" Melora nodded slowly, tears glistening like mercury. "I lost you when our ship was attacked. You were my heart, my everything." Then Lyra looked between them both, clutching Elias's hand tighter. "But he's my father," she said. The Queen's voice faltered. "Yes," she whispered, "he is." Gasps filled the room. No one dared speak. The Queen turned to the tribunal. "This human," she said, "did not steal my daughter. He saved her when the galaxy abandoned her. From this day, he is under my protection." Then, turning to Elias, she added quietly, "You gave her love, something our kind forgot long ago." As the guards lowered their weapons, Commander Vera looked away, hiding her tears. For the first time in centuries, an alien monarch had bowed, not in power, but in gratitude, to a human. The court dissolved into chaos, but none of it mattered. Lyra held both of their hands, whispering the same word that had once condemned Elias, father. But now, it was his salvation. In the days that followed, news spread like wildfire. Across the galaxy, the image of the Queen embracing a human dominated every broadcast. Warships withdrew, peace treaties reopened, and humans were no longer seen as inferior but as beings capable of something extraordinary as empathy. Yet, amidst the global celebration, Elias remained quiet. He stayed at the Queen's side as her guest, though his heart still ached for the life he'd lost. One evening, Melora visited his quarters. "She misses the forest," Elias said softly. The queen nodded. And you miss being her only parent. He looked down. She doesn't belong to me anymore. Melora smiled faintly. On the contrary, she belongs to both of us now. They sat together, watching Lyra sleep through the glass window. The queen whispered, Your people see us as gods. Yet you, a mortal, gave my daughter something divine. Love. Elias didn't answer. He simply watched Lyra's tiny chest rise and fall, remembering the night he first held her in the rain. When Melora left, she turned back once more. You called me your enemy, she said. But perhaps fate simply chose us to be parents from different worlds. For the first time since her arrival, she smiled, not as a queen, but as a mother. Months passed. The queen's ship prepared to return to Velar, and Elias knew his time with Lyra was ending. He tried to be strong, but every goodbye felt like tearing away a part of his soul. Lyra sat beside him on the viewing deck, staring at the stars. Will I see you again, father? She asked. He forced a smile. Every night you look at the stars, I'll be there. She hugged him tightly, her small frame trembling. When the queen entered, Elias stood. She needs to go home, he said, voice breaking. She deserves her people. Melora nodded. But she will always know who loved her first. At the departure bay, Lyra placed something in his hand, the pendant he made for her. So you don't forget, she whispered. He knelt, brushing a tear from her cheek. Never, he promised. As she walked away, she turned once more and said the word that had changed everything. Father. Then she disappeared into the ship's light. As the engines roared and the vessel vanished into the night sky, Elias stood alone on the landing pad. Around him, the city was silent. The war was over. Peace had begun, but in his heart, a quiet ache remained. The ache of a man who lost his daughter to the stars, yet gained a universe's forgiveness. Years later, monuments were built in both worlds, one of the queen, and beside her a statue of a human man holding a small child's hand. The plaque beneath read, Love knows no species. Elias continued his work, leading peace missions between humans and Velari. Whenever he looked up at the night sky, he imagined Lyra among the stars, growing, learning, perhaps ruling, but never forgetting the lullabies of Earth. One day, a holographic transmission arrived from Velar. It was Lyra, now older, wearing the royal insignia. Father, she said, her voice steady yet warm. I lead our people now. Mother says the stars still sing your name. I wanted you to know. I remember. Elias smiled through tears. And I remember you. As the message ended, Elias stood by the window, the pendant glimmering in his palm. The world outside was at peace, a fragile, beautiful peace born from love and loss. The story of a man once accused of kidnapping had become legend. Children across galaxies learned it in school. The tale of how one human's compassion changed two worlds forever. In the quiet of his lab, Elias whispered to the stars, Good night, my daughter. And somewhere, light years away, a queen and her child looked up from their throne, whispering back, Good night, father.